Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm so excited for this lesson. The Queen's Library. Oh my gosh, to be a fly on this wall. So, I have my signature and my printables. We have several pages of printables today. I'm so excited. We have a bit of the library, a bit of spells, and the familiar, the little crow. I think he's just adorable. And then we have Granny and the apple, but we also have the Queen and her heart box. Now I saved the heart box for this lesson as opposed to having it done earlier on when I thought, it made more sense back here when we can do like a full, dedicated spread to the Queen and that feminine power. I have my handy dandy tools. By now you should be kind of used to my paper cutter, which is not necessary, but it does make the job quite easier. I have a tiny self-healing mat from the Dollar Tree. And then I have glue and my corner rounder. I am deciding whether I'm going to use the printables on sticker paper or the regular paper ones. But I'm also admiring the curtain, which has main character vibes. It has that starry, what is it called? When we go over to the chariot and the canopy has all of the stars. It's a master co-manifester. It's yeah. There's definitely some significance there because it's we see that pattern, right? Anywho, we have a lot of ephemera to cut out, so if you are using your scissors, get to it. I want to see your creations. I want to see how you're using this. Are you have you created your own signature? Are you using a journal? What are you using? How are you using it? I want to know. Send me pictures. And of course, if you want to see pictures of my finished little journal, those are available over on Patreon as I'm finishing the course myself, as I'm going through it myself. I will be posting. I don't have a plan as I approach this. I, of course, chose all this ephemera, all these scenes, based on things that I just liked. Parts of the scene that I just liked. Things that I thought would be interesting and important. However, I'm coming up with the how to put it all together as we're watching. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. But I am very happy to have gotten this backstage, through the dark staircase. We have to walk by the crows. We have to walk by the rats. I mean, this is a classy lady. This is a queen. And yet, this is a place where she is quite comfortable, in her dark basement she cave. um, well, she's into potions and spells, so ooh, I'm gonna save that one for a little bit. I'm not quite sure what to see. I'm making decisions as we're going. So when I ask you, what are you doing with your ephemera? You know, you're listening to me, you're watching me, but also you're doing your own thing. You're making your own creative choices, I am sure, and I am very curious. So it's quite funny that the queen, at the very beginning of the movie, we know that she has this magic mirror that is enslaved to her. But we also, so we know that she is somehow magical, a magical type of being, right? But it's not until she gets really, really annoyed, really angry, at seeing the possibility of love blossoming, in her gardens. Ooh, my goodness. It's a fun sound. It's not until she really decides to get rid of Snow White, like she does not want to witness any more pleasantries, that we see her pull out the heart box. And that's not really magical. Although at the beginning, my idea was, what would you put into your magic box? What do you keep in your magic box? And she wanted to keep a heart as proof. But do you have a magic box? I do. I have a trinket box. It's special to me. I don't believe that the box itself is magical, although it was gifted to me by somebody who has now passed on. We were not very close, but I do have some memories of him. And now this box has come out of kind of my childhood, things that I had tucked away, that I had never used, that I had never really given second thought of, but that for the purposes of moving and purging and just going through things that now as an adult, how much of my childhood do I need, do I want to keep, do I want to pass on? So this box that had been gifted to me for my first communion came about, and I keep my charms in there, my little trinkets, my tokens, my totems, a couple of crystals, my most used decks. I have a very important, feminine deity in there. So, write about your box. And there will be some space, you'll see. I have been really, really great with creating little journaling spots for myself. So if you are following along the way I'm doing it, then there will be some journaling spots. And you can start thinking about this now. What would what do you have, or what would you put into your magic, heart box? And because we're working with this feminine power that of course is in reverse, because she's evil, that's still a great power, right? So she's just tapped into the dark side. She's just really, really stuck in her shadow, in her mirror, in her own I mean, what is her deal? You know, we don't have a backstory for her just yet, other than the fact that she is a widow. So, I wonder where she, where she comes from. Where did she pick up all these books? What has brought her to be so angry? And so right here I'm making the decision that instead of keeping the box intact or putting something in the box, I was instead going to use the image as Dutch doors to open into the library, which is, I think it's a clever idea. I'm also tight on space for the next episode, so it's a weird sizing situation that's about to happen. But it's just a disclaimer that so what to do with all the spells? Well, we are in this library, and it tickled my fancy to make a secret book and tuck it into the library, the existing books library that's already here. So I cut all the spells, and luckily they're all about the same size. And so using the backing, my ability to just rip off the backing of the sticker paper, I'm going to use that to create my own little magic book that she's reaching for, and add our spells. We're really lucky to be able to have a few spells directly from the scene. We have the Peddler's Disguise, which of course turns the queen into the granny. And then we have the Poison Apple spell. And then for some very odd reason, very Disney reason, we do have the Poison Apple Antidote. And that's funny, because, or foreshadowing, or, obvious, or, it just, it's literally just, it's right there. So I'm playing with that sticky back, but of course if you don't have that, you can put them together with a stapler, you can glue them together, you can do this in any which way, but I thought it would be really clever to make it into a little signature, and just use up all the ephemera in some kind of way, because obviously it's not going to all fit on this page, but I want to use it all. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, you guys wanted real-time videos and finding a corner for the sticker paper. It's hard work. What I find most appealing about the Queen's magic is how elemental it is. How she invokes the elements, the wind, the lightning, her potion, her spells. in the formula to transform beauty into ugliness, she invokes a blast of wind to fan my hate, a thunderbolt to mix it well. Like, that is just, you know what I mean? It's powerful. I love that for her. If only she was using it for good. But at the same time, you know, the wind to fan my hate. She's angry. Like, she really, really hates this kid. And we don't really know why. Other than jealousy, right? Because she is now the fairest of them all. So she's been dethroned in that way. So the picture of Granny's going right on the back of the spell for it. And yeah, love this sticky back situation. But of course, not necessary. You can always be doing this with glue. Mistakes are made. Oh my gosh. So yeah, wind and lightning play a very big role in her magic. From when she's talking to the mirror or invoking the mirror, but both of them, I see both of them as equal parts witch, right? We have Snow White chatting with the animals and having that hearth witch, you know, situation going on. She's got all the creatures like involved in the laundry and the washing and the dishes and the this and the that. So clearly there's magic there. There's magic afoot. The poison apple is iconic. It's just dripping with malice. What kind of books? First of all, what kind of books do you have on your shelf now? Take a look. Then take a look at your wish list. What books do you want? Right? And then what books, if you're really interested, if you really get into this, you could completely ignore the printable and go ahead and draw in your own library. What do you have? What do you hope to have? How do you wish to display it? I know aesthetics are very common practice these days, but that would also take this art page in a totally, you know, much more dynamic way if you were to personalize it with your own library, if you will. I have a little bit of a library that I'm starting. I have a deal with myself that I will own books that I enjoy, um, but I won't necessarily buy books before I read them. And I have books for reference, and I have fiction, I have nonfiction. I have tarot books, I have astrology and herb books, crystals and chakras and biographies. I'm not shy. I am I'm an avid reader, but because I read so much, I'm also quite discerning on what I want to actually have in my home. And so that also kind of, because the book has to have round corners, I'm sorry to cut myself off. And just to make it legit, I pull out my gold deco marker, whatever, this is oil paint. And oh my gosh, it's one of those push things, so I make boo-boo, but it's okay. You know, I can live with it. But I wanted it to be a legit little book, so I made it like a little gold cover. But then it's okay. It's okay. You know, live and you learn. It doesn't have a cover or anything. It's just literally just like the little spell pages. Look how cute. We'll get back to that in a little bit. This is where I realize that the book doesn't quite match the way it's supposed to go in. I don't want it to be upside down. But I did find a place to hide my little insert tucked in between the other books. So with the use of my ruler and my straight edge, the box cutter, and the self-healing mat, oh my goodness, it's come quite in handy. I don't have a huge supply list for this experience, but what we have, we use often. So this is where I realized my book, I'm gonna lose the gold edging, and I don't want to do it on that side, so yep, that happened. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I clean it up as best as I can, and then we let it dry, and then we work on the other part, which is making sure that when I insert it, the sticker backing is still in the right place. So that's going to take a bit of engineering. This is all kind of eyeballing it. Using the straight edge just makes it quicker to pull the sticker backing off. But again, not necessary. Totally be using glue. Serves the exact same purpose. This also made me think about what other famous libraries I'd love to get into. The Beast has a wonderful library. Makes me wonder if Maleficent has her own library. I'm sure she does. A couple of the teachers from Hogwarts, I'm sure, have really cool libraries as well. I said the sticker backing made things easier. I didn't say it was, foolproof. With me being the fool, of course. And there we go. We have our library with our little sliding, with our little sliding book. So she takes up most of the, the entire page and a good portion of the next one. So that's when I run into a bit of trouble with the following episode. But don't you worry, we're gonna cram it all in there. It's all part of the mixed media experience, right? So in that goes. And we're back to working with the image of the Queen. We talk a lot about the feminine power, but also she could very well be the magician in reverse, as she has all the tools and she has reached a level of enlightenment, clearly. Oh no, I made a mistake. I made a big boo-boo. I took the whole backing off and I do not have a place for a sticker that size. So I need to put that back quickly and best as I can. I don't know what I was thinking, but luckily I did fix it. And I go ahead and remove about an inch worth of backing so that I can create my Dutch doors. Dutch doors is one of those, first of all, term and practice of cutting your page and creating this kind of window effect, allowing another layer or layers to be, collaged underneath. I learned this while planning, while bullet journaling. Many people would create lovely designs in their planners with Dutch doors. You can do it vertical, you can do it horizontal. Yeah. It's a fun effect. Of course, I have to recreate the effect by tipping the pages in. I did not think about this at the time, but because this is a Dutch door, but also because it's on the opposite side, it's on the opposite page, it's gonna have a weird crease. It's gonna have two creases due to the way it opens, which I'm okay with. It's fine, because I needed the space on the inside anyways. Remember when I told you guys about the little journaling spots that I always want to leave behind so that we have places to pull cards about, what is in our hearts box? What are we keeping very, very close guard of? What do we need to work on? So maybe let's go ahead and shuffle some cards. And who is she? She is our Queen of Hearts in reverse, I suppose, but she's also our Magician. So what do we do? What do we do with that? Do we look for one? Do we look for the other? Do we look for both? Do we look for... Let's look for both. Let's look for both. Let's give the deck a shuffle, of course. And then let's look for both the Magician. And who is behind the Magician? So we'll pull those two cards together. But if you happen to run into... What did I say? Queen of Hearts, Queen of Cups. Is she a Queen of Cups? I don't know. Now that I've given her this Magician, I don't know that she fulfills... Or is she more of a Queen of Swords? Is she harsher? But she's also so earthy with her magic. Not earthy, elemental. Huh. It's hard. It's hard to give her her own I'm looking at the cards and I'm trying to make a decision, but you know what? I just realized that I don't have to decide. I'm gonna let you decide. Which queen does she represent to you? Is she the Queen of Hearts? Does she have that? She does have that emotional, just jealous, just ego-driven. I can't have it. You can't have it either. Kind of vibe. Emotionally distant and suspicious. I mean, she's a widow, right? She's a young widow, I suppose. Whew. So is she our Queen of Cups? Perhaps. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with our Queen of Cups. And so I'm gonna look for a Queen of Cups, and I am going to go with the card before and after it for my spread right here, right now. But if you feel like she is much more of that Magician, or if she's much more of a Queen of Swords, or fight me on it, Queen of Wands, it's something else. Then pull the card in front and behind and let that tell you about yourself, and how, you know, what's there. Knock, knock, I'm here. Is there a message for me? Kind of vibe. Or do you already know what your shadow is holding for you? I just went through the whole deck and could not find her. What message? Maybe, you know what? She was waiting for me to come up with the proper question. That's what it is. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Very interesting right there. So I just happened to pull 4 cards because that just made the most sense. But you go ahead and you pull your cards and you let me know how that spread went for you. I found the perfect place for this last picture. I like I said, I don't want to waste any of the ephemera. I want to make sure that I use it all because it was all chosen, you know, for a reason, I believe. And, or at least I want to set a good example. I'll show you guys that it is possible to use all the ephemera. And so I chose the back of the book. And so now my book almost looks like it has a cover. And it goes, this is super cute. I love all the interactive features of what we're creating here. And this is where I realize I need a second crease. And there she is. Our evil queen and her library. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.